Hi. Hey, miss me. Hi, Ariel. One. One.
You can join them in row 7.
Thank you.
Them in row 7.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome. Hey, miss me. Hey, Ariel. Hi, everybody. About to get on here shortly here.
It's my name, Doug Davis. Also, if you just done something Do you know
Yeah, but the thing is that Jumbo, everyone. Welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari. What kind of guy is doing it? Funny guy. Look at it. I call the sleeping bag.
Hey, Trace Young. Welcome.
The truck's going to leave you.
Alright, I can't wait what we're gonna see.
Oh boy.
Here we go, everybody.
Sante Sana word. That means thank you, friends. You sailed here in Harambe. Well, one day. That means let's go.
Here we go,
Jumbo
everybody.
everyone, my name is
Jumbo.
Dylan. I'm going to be your safari driver on our trip throughout the reserve today. Now friends, if you look up above your heads to be able to see that animal spotting
Noah,
guide. Let's
welcome.
help you identify any of those amazing animals that we may see out
I'm
there
good,
on the
Ariel.
reserve. That is amazing though, due to migratory patterns and the fact that animal spotting guide is about 20 years old, we probably won't see all the animals that are depicted above. But you never know, you usually do have some pretty good luck. A couple things we do have to go over though, friends. Make sure we are remaining completely seated the entire time we're out here on the reserve, whether we're stopped moving or anything in between. If you have little ones, they're more than welcome to sit on your lap. Just make sure that's lap sitting and not lap standing. Also, please do not play hot potato with your children, bouncing them from lap to bench to lap to lap to bench to lap to lap to
Hey,
bench.
Teresa,
That's for their
welcome.
safety, your safety, and the safety of those around you. And also, please do not call out, whistle, click, or try to get the animal's attention in any way. Over there on the right hand side of the truck, that is an okapi. Now, friends, don't blame me for thinking that the okapi are pretty
Check this
close
out, guys.
to the
Look at
zebra,
that.
but they're not. They're actually the only known relative of the giraffe. One of the many ways that they are related to the giraffe is that okapi have prehensile tongues just like giraffe do. This means they have lots and lots of muscles in those tongues that allows them to grab leaves, grass, or anything else they may want to eat while dodging spikes, thorns, or anything else they may want to stop them from eating. And they also have white stripes on their back legs. Those are a great form of natural camouflage. Now, just like a zebra stripes and okapi stripes are completely unique to every single okapi. And a baby okapi will actually learn the mama okapi stripe pattern and know who they're following through the forest.
Oh, that's
It's also found in the more particularly dense regions of the Eritrea forest and other forests around Africa. Then up to the
Oh,
left-hand side of the
wow.
truck, way up on that first hill, you can see a black rhino all the way up there.
Check
Black rhinos are one of
check
the
this
lighter
out.
rhino species, but light, especially for a rhino, isn't all too light. They can actually weigh up to around 3,000 pounds fully grown, so they still are some quite large animals. Now, unfortunately, they are pretty endangered as well. There's actually less than 5,000 black rhino left in the world. That includes the ones on reserves. They are poached pretty heavily for those horns they have on top of their heads. Some cultures believe those horns, when eaten, have magical or medicinal properties, but really they're just made out of keratin. This is the same thing that your hair and fingernails are made out of. And if there was any magical or medicinal effect, you would get that very same effect from just chewing on your nails. But unfortunately for us, in this time of day, the Eritrea forest is going to be kind of empty. Now, a lot of these animals who live out here prefer to come out at nighttime. This is so they can graze quite peacefully without having to worry about predators. There's some more. Predators seen them too easily. So up on that hill, left-hand side of the truck, there are some greater kudu up there. I'll slowly pull by and you can see one. There's one farther right on this hill as well. Very, very top. You can just see them up there. Greater kudu are the second largest antelope out here on the reserve, standing around 4 feet tall at the shoulder. Known for their leaping ability, they can actually leap at around 8 feet, which is far and high enough to cover small trees, bushes, or anything else that might be in their way.
Wow. That is amazing. This
But
what's
you know,
back there,
friends,
guys?
forests, just like the
It's
one that we just
incredible.
passed through, they are pretty important to our day-to-day lives. Lots and lots of the fruit that we eat, and quite a bit of the paper that we use comes directly from forests, just like that one all over the world. So protecting them is extremely important, not only for us, but also for those animals and their homes. Heading down this hill right here into the Safi River. The animals out here on the Safi River are known for their territorial instincts, so keep an eye out for anything that may be hiding under the water. Over here on the left-hand side of the truck, these are Nile hippopotamus and their group hippopotamus. They can do so for around 8 minutes at a time, and they even sleep under there. Their bodies just know when to come up for air. Now, hippos' heads are perfectly designed to be partially submerged in the water, though. They have their nose, ears, and eyes all on top of that head of theirs. This allows them to be partially submerged almost indefinitely. And a lot of people think that hippos can swim, but they actually can't.
Hey,
They're a little too heavy for that.
welcome.
Weighing
Thank
between
you for
5
being
and
here.
6,000 pounds, fully grown. Something like you and I do doesn't really work all too well for them. What they'll do is they'll sink to the bottom of whatever body of water they may be in and kick off that bottom. They kind of bounce under the water rather than swimming. Hippos also make a noise that's called a wheeze honk, and it doesn't really sound anything like we pronounce it. It's a very deep noise, and it's extremely guttural. Something I actually highly suggest checking out once we are off the safari. Coming up over here on the left-hand side of the truck, though, those are Nile crocodile. Nile crocodile, they are considered to have some of the strongest jaws in the animal kingdom, and just one bite they can exert up to at least 2,000 pounds per square inch of force. Now, not only is that enough force to break the bones of their prey, it's actually enough force to shatter those bones completely.
Wow.
But the Nile crocodile, they can control this by force. A mama crocodile will hold her baby crocodiles in her mouth until they are old enough to be out in the wild all by themselves. And the Nile crocodile, they do a pretty interesting thing with their eggs. What they'll do is they'll put those eggs in their mouth and hold them around on their tongue to help break up that eggshell. This allows the baby crocodiles to get out just a little bit easier. But friends, judging by some of the change of vegetation, looks like we're headed out onto the savanna, which personally is my favorite part out here on the reserve. One of those changes in vegetation is coming up very briefly on the right-hand side of the truck. That is the baobab tree.
That's a baobab tree.
Baobab tree, also known as the upside down tree, remains completely leafless for around 9 months out of the year. The remaining 3 months out of the year is during the rainy season where it gets its other name. The baobab tree will store lots and lots of water in the trunk, and the animals like the elephant will come puncture holes in it and drink the water from it. This gives it the name the Tree of Life. Heading down this hill right here into the savannah. The savannah is a very open place. The animals, they like to keep it that way. A couple examples of that. If you look out across the savannah, you'll be able to see that the bottoms of the trees out here, they are cut to about the same height. That's actually the highest that the tallest giraffe out here on the reserve can reach. And as we get closer to the ground, you'll also be able to notice that the grass is cut pretty short as well. Now, there's no lawnmowers out here on the reserve. That is due to all of the animals that live out here. Most of them are grazers. That means they eat the grass, the weeds, the flowers, or anything else that may grow on the ground. So it keeps it nice and flat and nice and trim. Over there on the right-hand side of the track, those big brown animals with the big horns, those are Ankole cattle. We'll get closer to them in just a couple of moments, but the Ankole cattle, they are the only domesticated animal out here on the reserve. They were domesticated by the Watusi people. It's actually another one of their names, the Watusi cattle. But they weren't domesticated for their meat or for their milk like your standard domesticated cattle. They're actually domesticated because they are a symbol of wealth in some cultures. So the more Ankole cattle that a farmer has, the more wealthy that they seem.
Right there. That's not the ground.
That looks like a draft neck on the rock.
Over here on the left-hand side of the truck, there is a spotted hyena walking around.
A hyena?
Hyenas, they are often depicted as scavengers
wow.
in popular culture, but they're not actually scavengers at
They're
all. They're
walking.
very, very successful hunters. By their lonesome, like this one is, generally they will hunt down little things like large lizards,
Wow.
insects, and larger
Guys,
small
check
things,
this
I
out.
guess.
Look at that.
Larger small things. Big small things, I don't know.
And there's one that's
Like
sweet.
cicadas and grasshoppers and stuff, but when they're together in packs of around 4 or 5, they can hunt larger things like wildebeest and zebras. And actually just 4 hyenas can take down an entire wildebeest, eat it all, bones and everything except for the skull in 30 minutes. They have some
Wow.
very, very strong jaws. They can actually
That's
crush the
incredible.
bones in their prey as well. Very, very impressive animals. We're getting a lot closer to these Ankole cattle on either side of us as well. This one on the left is going to be particularly closer. Now those horns on top of their heads, they do look pretty heavy,
wow.
but they're not as heavy as you think they are. Actually, on the inside of those horns, there is a sort of honeycomb structure. This allows those horns to not only be light, but also allows the Ankole cattle to pump their blood through it and regulate their body temperature. So most of the insides of those horns are completely hollow. Looks like this truck in front of us is stopped for an Ankole cattle. They must be waiting for them to move. Sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the animal's home though. They do have the right of way to go wherever they please, and sometimes, as you can see now, that just happens to be in the road. Should only be a couple moments though. These animals tend to move around a lot. Actually, some of the largest migratory animals live out here on the savannah.
Dude, they mow the grass, dude. He said there's no lawnmower.
Look at me. All we need is an Ankole cattle. We don't need a robot.
Alright, it seems like they're on their way, so we're gonna head on over there.
Is that what that is?
This one is going to be very, very close to the truck, so make sure we are keeping those hands, arms, feet, legs, tails, anything you've got inside the truck for me, please. Oh, one more step. I'm walking in slow motion here.
He keeps going more and more in the road than stopping.
Oh, we're getting somewhere. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you.
Yes, we do.
We believe in you. There he goes. Look, look, wow.
You're really just taking your time there, aren't you, pal?
Yes, too.
Yeah, this is what the wait time was for. The Ankole cattle. Dun, 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 dun,
Dude,
dun.
look at him.
Oh, no, don't. No. I wasn't making fun of you. Please keep moving.
Dude, it looks like he's like murdered.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to jump on the radio for just a second.
Hi.
Mom, you eat that.
He did? He did what? Like that?
All right, and I'm back. Gonna be on the, well, they're on the left-hand side of the truck now. They're way out there. They'll be on the right-hand side in just a moment. These big gray animals, these are wildebeest. To be a little bit more specific, these are going to be white-bearded wildebeest. Wildebeest, they are the second most densely packed animal in the world, second to only humans. They can actually herd into groups up to 1.5 million. That's the largest reported case of them. So there are some very, very large animals, also known as the gnu, spelled G-N-U. This comes from the low grunting sound that they make. It kind of sounds like new. There's also a Maasai giraffe over here. There are two different kinds of giraffe out here on the reserve. There's the Maasai and there's also the reticulated giraffe. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between the two of them. You just have to look at their spot patterns. A Maasai giraffe spot pattern is pretty splotchy. It's all over the place and irregular, while the reticulated giraffe spot pattern is a lot more cohesive and put together. And actually, the giraffe that's depicted above in the animal spotting guide is also a reticulated giraffe. So you can kind of see the difference in their spot patterns. There's going to be some more of them over here on the left. Does look like there is a littler one over here. Little for a giraffe though isn't really that little. Giraffe are born at around 6 feet tall, and they can grow to be anywhere from around 18 to 20 feet tall. So they go from about the size of your average human being to around the size of your average 2-story building in about 10 years.
There's a baby. Check
They
this
are
out,
adorable,
guys.
aren't they?
Baby.
I love the little ones. They have those big ears. I think it's cute. Giraffe also do have one of the heaviest hearts in the animal kingdom, though. Lots of love to sharing those. They have about 25 pounds worth of heart in that body of theirs. And that big heart of theirs does allow them to have quite a high blood pressure. They do have to pump a lot of oil up that long neck of theirs. And though that neck is a lot longer than ours, it actually has the same amount of vertebrae in it that ours does as well. There are 7 in there. Theirs are just much, much larger.
Wow.
And we're gonna head on over here, heading on into elephant country. I actually see just the front end of one over here. It's gonna be on the right-hand side. Looks like a big one. Yeah, there he is. Jeez. I'd say around 12,000 pounds-ish. We're see if we can get a little bit closer to them. Judging by the size of this one and the fact that they're all by themselves, this is probably a male African elephant. African elephants, they live in a matriarchal society. That means that the lowest ranking female is still higher than the highest ranking male. And they follow something called a matriarch, which is the oldest and most dominant female. Once the males like this one reach maturity, they tend to leave the herd all by themselves. And if they haven't left by the time that they're mature, the females do tend to kick them out. Maturity for an African elephant is about 15 years old as well. African elephants, they're still pretty social animals, including the males. So the males won't be alone forever. They tend to form bachelor herds, which is just herds of all males. Oh. There's a truck in front of us. I guess we're not going anywhere with that. I did hear a little something over the radio. Another truck was stopped for some animal traffic, and I'm not entirely sure what it was. I'll try and keep y'all posted as I get updated.
It's not much wonder there's wait time. They just have to go to the phone.
What's over in there?
Well,
Ah.
this is a really great time to ask some questions if you do have any. I talk a lot, I talk really fast, and I give out a lot of information. So if you have questions, I'm more than happy to take them. If you're in the back, you might have to shout or like pass it up like telephone. Yeah, we're about halfway through the safari as well, so it's probably just about the same amount of information going to be coming forwards. So if you have any questions now, you may forget them by the time we get to the dock if you don't feel like shouting them out. Yeah.
Where are you from?
Orlando.
Wow.
It's a really long trip to get home. All the way from Africa. It's not nearly as fun as other people. Where are you from? I'm from New York. Cool. I live here.
My daughter's wondering if you're single.
I'm not. I'm sorry. Us safari drivers, we get to mingling, you know? I can't believe I just said that over the mic. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we're gonna hang tight here for just a couple of moments. I still haven't heard anything over the radio. There's been some chatter here and there. All I really know is that we're stopped. But you don't need me to tell you that.
Hang tight, guys.
Hi! Billy has a question!
Really shouldn't have pulled away from the elephant. You might be able to see them through some of these trees, especially here in the back.
Who takes care of the animals?
Who takes care of the animals?
Yeah.
Was that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you guys see those green pickup trucks a little earlier?
Yeah.
If you did see them, those were the rangers. So they come out here, they feed the animals. Like you saw,
What do you
the
think of
elephant
this
was
shot,
eating a
guys?
bunch of hay. They'll like lay out food for the animals, and if they
There you
need
go.
checkups or anything like that, if you've
Nice
been
little
to
close up
Piggy's
the
Planet
elephant right
Watch,
there.
that's the train that takes you over there, and they do like the veterinary procedures on them over there. Some of the smaller animals, like the antelope, they go there, but large animals like the elephant will go to an off-site place. It's really all to the
Hey,
rangers. The cast members that are in
welcome.
the
Thank you for being
the
here.
green hat, light green shirt, and dark green pants. It's not really the most flattering.
Here you go, guys. Here's a nice screenshot for you.
Do they ever escape?
Not really, not that I know of. They kind of like their homes.
Mind I take a picture? What's your name?
Sorry,
What's your name?
my name is Dylan. What's your name?
Navy, Rocky, Jill, Sammy.
Sammy?
Yeah.
And I heard another name, but I didn't hear it very well.
Navy,
I take it you
Rocky,
like Animal Kingdom.
Sammy, Alton, and Josh. I'm Josh. Two Rockies.
So
I'm Josh.
The Rockies and the Josh.
I'm hard of hearing as well, so this doesn't really help out. So it was Navy, Rocky, and Sammy.
Yeah.
Yes. There's two Rockies.
There's two Rockies.
Yeah. Navy, Sammy,
That must
Josh.
get confusing at home.
It is.
LOL.
Navy, Sammy, Josh.
Can you turn on the AC?
So the truck that is stopped just ahead of us, actually. They're just around this corner. So it's not this one, but it must be the one after that. Still not sure what we're stopped for. But like I said, I'll keep you posted. Sorry.
What's the most dangerous animal?
The most dangerous animal? You know, I actually get this question a lot. None of the animals are really dangerous to us, because it's kind of a thing that's like relative, I guess. But all the animals have ways of protecting themselves. If we weren't in a big piece of metal, I would say the most dangerous to us is probably the elephant, just because they're very, very large animals and they can run pretty quickly as well. So to us, I would say the most dangerous would
Hey,
be the
Desi
elephant.
Beauty, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's most of these animals. They, like I said, they're pretty happy with their homes. They're not really dangerous to us right now. But if we were, per se, out in Africa for whatever reason, you're out in Africa, I would say the elephant probably.
How do you think does the elephant shake his food off?
Why does he what?
Sorry about this, guys. We've seen it stopped. There's a truck or two ahead of us. So that's why we're not in motion right now. I noticed I lost a few of you on chat.
Amazing.
Amazing. Hot, yeah. There's a heat index of 108 today. Yep.
Feels very
It
serious.
was hot. Still is kind of hot out. It started to drizzle here a second ago. Still raining a little bit. Yeah, it's hot out. Anybody ready to fly the passage today? Yeah, I got one head nod. Okay. It's a cool ride.
Hi, everybody.
I heard an awesome over the radio. That generally means good things.
Our truck is currently delayed right now, so.
So we'll see. Still can't go anywhere.
A mixture.
Hey, Mama Mouse, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Oh, lucky children. Guys, we have one more line.
Yeah, and that's the big roller coaster. That's Everest. Right, Dad?
Our truck is currently delayed right now, guys. But we get this nice view of the elephant right over there.
No, where's Bowman's pinky? I got it.
You guys can pick him out, which
Dude, look at him just eat with that, that trunk. Dude, just
we get this awesome view of this elephant.
go ball. Do you see that? How he like, watch this. He doesn't just grab.
Can you guys see the elephant? Or do I need to get a picture a little bit more?
See that?
Well, there is good news. You guys are sitting down. You could be in the line still, so that's always, a plus. Because in the line, they're just standing there saying there's an animal.
Yes,
stuff.
no, we are currently
I know
stuck
we're
with
just
some
sitting here
homemade,
saying
so
stuff, but
there's another truck ahead of us. I think it's broken down, so that's why we haven't moved.
Why did animals stop? Why did the
cool. And we're moving. Oh, just beep beep. Didn't mean to do that. Your safari driver's a mess, guys.
All right, guys, here we go.
Let's keep going, friends.
Here we go, guys.
Head on over here.
We are moving.
Across this rickety old bridge.
Got him, Andrew.
Alright, we're going to head deeper into elephant country, though. We might actually be able to get another view at that larger African elephant. Maybe? No, we'll see over there on the right, but sometimes. Just head across this bridge right here, and front tires. And back tires, alright. Like I said, further and further into elephant country, hopefully to find some elephants, but names can be misleading, so just keep those eyes
There's
peeled.
that red clay right there, guys.
Coming up on the left and right hand side of the truck, there are some tusk marks in this clay right here. Now the African elephants, they will use their tusks and dig up this clay. They'll actually eat it as a form of super vitamin. It's really, really good for them. They, like I said, weigh between 10 and
Look at those
12
tusk marks,
thousand
guys.
pounds. They don't really get all the vitamins.
see this
and
truck
minerals
mark
that they
right there,
need from their
guys?
diets.
Check
So
that
they use
out.
as a sort of super vitamin or a supplement to kind of bolster their weight, I guess you could say. Just like we take vitamins at home. But unfortunately, it is getting more and more common to not see African elephants all too often out in the wild or even out here on reserves. Unfortunately, they are poached pretty heavily for those ivory tusks that they have on their face, and they're also victims to habitat loss. This is due to the mining for coltan. It's a metal or mineral that's found in portable electronic devices that is mined in their homes. So if you do happen to get the new Samsung Galaxy, new iPhone, or anything else like that, I highly suggest finding ways to reuse, recycle, and make those old cell phones a hand-me-down. This helps protect the African elephants' homes, and in turn helps protect the African elephants a lot. It's not super hard to do that either. If you do a lot of shopping at Target, over there they have electronic recycling bins. Just drop those electronics in those bins, saves those African elephants' homes, and it's pretty simple to do. And you can actually see one that's out there on the left. There's actually, oh, there's two of them over there. In just a moment we'll be able to pull a little bit further. If you look through these trees on the left-hand side, you can just see some African elephants out there.
Oh, I see them. I see them right there.
Get a better view at them. African elephants, they will flap those ears, and they'll do it a lot. Not only does it push big gusts of wind down their body, but there's also a lot of veins and blood vessels in those ears, and flapping them allows them to circulate their blood flow and regulate their body temperature. Actually can help cool them down around 10 to 14 degrees between the two things, so it helps them out quite a bit. Also, pretty cool thing about their trunks, and the entire trunk is muscle. There's no bones, there's no cartilage, there's no nothing like that in them. When they're born until about the first year and a half of their life, they don't really know how to use them. It just kind of flails around everywhere. But as they get older, they actually get very, very good at using it. Very dexterous. They can actually pick up a nickel off of the ground with those trunks of theirs. And they have two little grippies on the ends. I don't really know how else to describe them other than grippies, because it's like they're pinching it almost. You can just see them out over there on the left. They can actually hold up to around 5 gallons of water in that trunk as well. A lot of people think they drink through it, but drinking through it is kind of like their nose, like drinking through our nose doesn't really work all too well. But they can store that 5 gallons of water in that trunk and then spray it into their mouth, kind of using it as a spray bottle. And coming up over here on the left-hand side of the truck, there are some greater flamingo going to be coming up. Greater flamingo are the largest of the 6 flamingo species. But though they are the greatest flamingo, they actually have the least amount of pink in their feathers. This pink comes from the beta-carotene in their diets, which consists of brine shrimp and various other things like small fish. And you also may see some of those flamingo walking around and it kind of looks like their knees are backwards, but those aren't their knees at all. That's actually their ankle. Their knees a little bit higher up inside their body. And also a group of flamingo is called the flamboyants. So really this is a flamboyance of greater flamingo. A little farther into a different portion of the savannah. The savannah in this area is a little bit more foresty. The animals have a lot more of an opportunity to hide out in, so you just have to really keep your eyes peeled, look at some of the bushes, look at some of the trees, things like that. Now friends, as you may notice, a lot of these animals' homes that we're driving through today, they are made up almost completely out of trees. And a big reason as to why a lot of these animals are out here on the reserve and reserves all around the world is habitat loss. Then a big factor in habitat loss is deforestation. So finding ways to reduce our need to constantly use paper products, reuse them when we can, and then recycle when absolutely necessary helps protect these animals and their homes a lot more than we think it does. And actually a pretty cool way of helping prevent deforestation. If you happen to drink coffee much like I do, it's the only reason I'm driving this truck right now, and you go to the grocery store to buy that coffee, make sure you're buying the shade-grown coffee. This means that it was grown under the shade of jungle canopies rather than those jungle canopies being cut down and cleared out to make way for coffee farms or plantations. It's not super hard to find these products either. Most of them are labeled shade-grown. The labeling does change a lot. Last year it was a green tree frog. This year it's like it's just a big leaf that says shade-grown on it. But most brands do have them, you just have to look pretty closely for it.
Interesting, guys.
Yes. Well, and also probably harvest and stuff too.
What's her name? You okay?
We're heading into Big Cat Country here in just a moment. This actually as we round this corner right here. So especially on the left-hand side of the truck, do keep an eye out for things like cheetahs and lions up there.
I can't see.
They're not there yet.
They're not there yet. We just are supposed to look. Look up on the hill.
Alright, Mama Mouse, thank you for stopping by.
The place, maybe up in the trees.
I'll be here for a while.
Let's see, up here on the left. Oh, they're really all the way up on this first hill, all the way back. You can just see them moving around, especially as we pull forward. Keep an eye, it's in the center of that
Way
back
at the
hill
back.
over there. There's a cheetah laying down. You can just see them all the way out there. I think it's actually a second one right next to them. But as we pull forward, just look all the way out there. You can see them laying
I
down.
see it.
They're like yellow spots in the middle of a bunch of brown with all those dead leaves out there.
I see it. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
there's 2 of them out there. Cheetahs, they are the fastest land animal, running up to around 70 miles an hour in short bursts, 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. They're very, very fast animals. They can actually cover the length of a football field in a little burst there, so it's one a little bit easier to see
Oh
on
wow,
the second
right
forward.
there.
Not a little bit easier to see. A lot easier to see. Very, very fast animals. Their claws do not retract. They get lots and lots of grip on the ground while they're running. You have some pretty long tails as well. These act as sort of rudders to help them steer while they're doing this running. Cheetahs are also diurnal. This means that they're out during the daytime rather than nocturnal, which means out during the nighttime. And cheetahs, they are also the largest cat to purr, and they even meow. A little further into Big Cat Country, though, coming up on the left, this Kopi Formation is a really good spot to spot some lions. Lions are often found resting on Kopi Formations just like this one all over Africa. They're usually up here sunbathing, looking out for prey or predator or other things that may positively or negatively affect their pride of lions.
That's probably not nice.
They do a good job of hiding the area. Like that.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's between us.
Oh. So, she's just on the edge of this Kopi. You can see a female as we pull around this corner.
Oh yeah,
Just see her up there.
I see her.
You're poking out over that section right there.
Yep.
When we pull around.
Now, friends, we are very, very lucky to be able to see these beautiful animals. Unfortunately, in the past 20 years, the lion population has decreased by around 80%. Went from around 200,000 lions in the world to now only about 20,000 lions in not too long of a time. So conservation efforts around the world are looking to double that number by 2050, so finding ways to help support them, ones like the Lion Recovery Fund, is a really great way to help.
Yeah, I see it. There's a male right over there. There's a male.
But friends, as you probably know, it's kind of everywhere in the parks. The new Lion King movie is coming out on Friday. We're not really here to talk about that, though. We are going to talk about those.
There's actually 3 of them. There's 3 of them.
For every single person that rides
Kilimanjaro
safaris during the first week of the Lion King being opening,
there's
so
2 of them.
19th to the
There's
25th.
2 there and 1 over there.
For every
There's 3
single
of
person,
them.
Disney will donate $2 to the Lion Recovery Fund, which is a leading recovery fund in helping protect these big cats. And that's quite a bit of money. There's probably about 40 people on this truck right about now. That's $80 that already goes to them. So it's 40 people per truck, a 20-minute safari, and there's 44 trucks. Just the math in one day. That's a lot of money.
I hope everybody catches the zooms.
The Lion Recovery Fund takes no.
I've been trying to zoom in for you guys so you can see.
They are a non-for-profit organization. So if you are in the area, annual pass holder or anything like that, that's something I really highly suggest doing, is coming back checking us out here at Kilimanjaro Safaris. No 2 safaris are ever exactly the same. The animals and the drivers do like to keep it that way. On the left, that antelope right there, that is a Banta buck. There's going to be another one over here on the right. We're actually going to pull right up next to them along with a water buck. And there's also a nest of ostrich eggs over here. So the water buck are those shaggy antelope that look like they have a toilet seat on their rear end. And the Banta buck are the ones with the itty bitty horns. The Banta buck are actually one of my favorite animals out here on the reserve because they have a really great story. Now, not too long ago, the Banta buck were poached pretty heavily for those coats that they have. With the right diet and in the right sunlight, that coat actually has a purple shimmer to it, like a purple gloss. And they were poached so heavily for them that at one point in time, there was only 17 Banta buck left in the entire world. Like I said, there's more people on this truck right now than there were Banta buck left in the entire planet. But a couple of farmers realized that the Banta buck were going away. So what they did is they put them all in one fenced-off area. The poachers who were poaching them thought that they were somebody's property, and the Banta buck, well, they can't really jump all too well. So between all of those factors, it actually ended up saving their species. There's now around 40,000 Banta buck in reserves throughout the world, which is a stark difference from the 17 we had not too long ago. And I feel like that story is really, really important to tell because it kind of goes to show how much of a difference just a few people can make if they really, really put their minds towards it. And those differences that you do make out in your day-to-day lives, they don't have to be anything as crazy as putting a fence around an endangered species. They can be something pretty simple. You don't really have to go too far into it. If you're looking for a new toothbrush, this one sounds kind of ridiculous, but look for bamboo toothbrushes. These are easier to recycle when you're done with them, and if you don't feel like recycling them, you can just toss them out, and they're a lot more biodegradable than the plastic ones that we use. It's just simple stuff like that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like I mentioned with the African elephants, recycling the coltan and your used electronics is also really important at places like Target. So really, you don't even have to go that far out of your way to recycle that coltan. Other things, like you probably heard about the metal straws. That's a big thing that's going around right now. But if you really think about it, you can save a lot of straws by using those reusable ones. You can use it at places like Wendy's, restaurants, public.
Going to the lake.
Because we can figure out that we don't own the planet, we just share it with these animals, and it's getting, like I said, increasingly more important to figure that out. Because the way we're headed right now, future generations may only know these beautiful animals by the inside of the textbook. And that is something that I personally would like to avoid. So finding ways to do anything like that does help out these animals in their homes a lot more than we think it does. Now, if we do happen to have any Wilderness Explorers on the truck name is the Simba 1. That's S-I-M-B-A 1. That'll be on page 15
Simba
of the
1.
Wilderness Explorers Handbook. You can get that badge right by the entrance to Kilimanjaro Safaris as well. It's not super hard to find. We're going to pull around to go to the second stop over here. There's a little bit of traffic from that stop that we had. So we should be out of here in just a couple moments. This is a really great time to double check the rows, check your aisles, take your benches. You never know when it's falling out of your pockets. It is a pretty bumpy ride. So just double check, triple check, you never know when it's falling on out. Well, friends, one more thing before we did head out there. Asante Sana, thank you so much for your patience. It's been a kind of a long one out here today, and I really appreciate you guys just being cool. So Asante Sana, thanks very much. Now, out here in Harambe, we don't really like to say goodbye either. What we do prefer to say is kwaherini. In Swahili, this roughly translates to go well. So as we head up to your stop, friends, kwaherini. Asante Sana, thank you so much for enjoying yourselves, or at least attempting to enjoy yourself out here on the safari and being patient.
Kwaherini.
I wonder. Well, yeah, well, yeah. You're right.
No, we gotta find our spot that we're gonna go down.
Here we go, guys.
Alright, friends, well, like I said, double check your rows, double check your patches. There's a light on right now. Asante Sana, thanks for joining me so much, and kwaherini.
Kwaherini. Okay.
Go well, friends, go well. Make a difference out there. Once again, my name's Dylan, we'll fill in the work.
Okay. Alright, guys. I am so sorry how long that took. It took him a little while to get it to get us out of there. Give me 1 second, guys. Anyway. I think Hi everybody. How is it? Sorry guys, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Give me a second. There we go. Can you guys still see or no? I've been trying to turn it aside, Mama Mouse, but for some reason it keeps saying rotate device, and I don't understand what that means. Yeah, I know. That's something I'm gonna have to figure out, Mama Mouse. I don't know. But how? If anybody's got a Galaxy 9, let me know how to unlock it. I am so sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to get to work and it's not working. I still have to figure out how to do that on this phone. Anyway, I would definitely get to work on that. How do you do that, Myers and Mama Mouse? How do you? Is it in your settings or is it? Let me know in chat. Because then I'm going to end the stream here shortly. So we're going to go through. We're going to go to the Gorilla Falls exploration trail real quick. Let me know in the chat, or you can message me as well. We're going to go this way, guys. See if we can play some gorillas. Hey guys, check this out. Hey Mickey Science, welcome. Thank you for being here. Main screen.
No, papi, pero vamos a ver eso. Ah, es el animalito que vimos allá. No, es el animalito que parecía cifra. Parte cifra. ¿No fue el que vimos ahorita? Sí, muy parecido. Oiga, similares.
No, it's part of the giraffe family.
Jirafa.
Sing him off with the tail. Look at him, look at him. He's so cute. Come on.
Okay. Hey everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I will return at 8 p.m. With Rivers of Light. So guys, keep that notification bell on, and I will go back. I'll come back live, guys. All right, see y'all real soon. So for now, have a great, beautiful tomorrow. Bye bye.